Welcome everyone, I'm very sorry for the late video today. Unfortunately I have been slammed by work, but for this video we are going to be having Slaanesh and then also Traitor GG going up against Matthew and the forces of Khorne. Now we're going to be on the Kislev Troll country, and the winner here, this was actually going to be one of the live games on YouTube that I played for the Shortbeard Landbattle tournament, and the winner here took all in the grand final. So starting here in the front with Traitor GG, with Matthew, we're going to be having Bloodletters, 4 units of the make that 5 units of anti-infantry Bloodletters with good armor piercing, and 3 units of the Spawn of Khorne. Of course, 190 weapon strength, unbreakable, making them very powerful indeed. On the floor, we are going to have the Uhtred of Bebbanburg here with the Cultist of Khorne, with the Battle Axe and Shield here, coming with the Gate of Khorne for those Bloodletter summons. In the middle, we are going to be having the Lord Choice, which is the Herald of Khorne. He's going to be on a Juggernaut, looking rather gangster indeed. Here with that Hellblade, making him rather powerful if he gets over 80 kills. And also Revel in Slaughter and the Locust of Wrath. In the back, we are going to have Fleshhounds, backed up here by 3 units of the Flying Furies. Very good magic damage and Frenzy, giving them some amazing stats. Now coming here for Traitor GG, we are going to be having Hellstriders here on the flanks. Good anti-large and poison-tipped spears there for the cavalry, backed up by the Seekers. So 4 units of Seekers with great armor piercing and devastating flanker, coming in with that physical resistance, making them, a little bit better here up against the Halberds of Khorne. For the Lord Choice, we are going to be having the Herald of Slaanesh, the Slaanesh magic here with the Arcane Conduit, the Blissful Rapture, and the Soul Siphon with the spells of the Hysterical Frenzy, the Acquiescence, as well as the Lash of Slaanesh, the Portal Glyph, and then also the Locust of Grace. For the main battle line, 4 units of the Marauder Spears for that bonus first large, and they do actually have that charge reflection, which actually can be quite powerful with that charge defense first large. So the Exalted Demonettes in the middle, coming with these debuffs thanks to the Charmed ability. Soul Scent, giving those buffs in a 30-meter radius, giving that melee attack and armor piercing, and overall could be a good counter here up against the Bloodletter infantry. Now, for the majority, you would bring some Exalted Demonettes to challenge up against the Khorne infantry. The Khorne with 100 armor there for the melee infantry can be quite a nuisance for Slaanesh to deal with, especially with just basic Marauders. They really don't have the AP necessary. So Fury's coming forward, and we can combat that there with the ability of the Herald of Slaanesh. She can summon her own Furies in the sky, and they can be used to kind of just push off these Furies and prevent them from getting all in over the cavalry and just being a general nuisance in total. The cavalry's going to be holding back here just a little bit. The front line is going to be clashing together, and that's not going to be great there for the Marauder Spears, but they can charge up against the Spawn of Khorne. Of course, they're going to get that bonus first large, come against the lightly armoured monstrous infantry. So we're going to be charging through in the front. We do actually have some of the Exalted Khornes in the front. They're going to be getting the summon of the Demons in behind. The Bloodletters can really rear charge up against these Exalted Demonettes. In the middle, we are going to have the Lord Choice fighting alongside Bloodletters. He's going to be anti-infantry and armor piercing himself, so he's really going to chew through. And look at this, just a huge amount of Marauder Spears here dying in the pocket. The Whip of Slaanesh down the line here of the Bloodletters, not doing too much. Bit of a mistake over on the right-hand flank. We see the double Seekers, but of course, both of these players were playing for hours on end in this tournament. So right here at the very end, it was just a little bit of a tired game, but we are going to see the anti-large cavalry fighting up against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, including the Fleshhounds that have so much weapon strength. 65 when not poisoned, plus also 22 of that being armor piercing, will just shred through the Hellstriders. Now maybe a bonus of large, but they will struggle here up against all of those good mobility forces. Cavalry's going to be recharging and doing some good damage. We're going to be rampaging the Spawn of Khorne in the middle. Bloodletters with those great weapons going to charge back into the pocket. They'll struggle here up against the cavalry. Not too much bonus first large, but mass weapon strength here coming from the Spawn. So over here we have the Cultists going to be fighting up against the Exalted Demonettes. Going to be down to 34 models. They're going to have 16 leadership as well, so they're going to be trickling back here to the Slaanesh realms of chaos. And the same could be said here for Khorne. You can see quite a few units are going to be struggling, rampaging left, right, and centre. A Whip of Slaanesh coming down up against the Spawn of Khorne. And sadly, I don't think too many spells here were kind of brought to deal with the Spawn of Khorne, which was quite a nice change there from Matthew. Something we don't often see, but of course, no skirmish coming forward from the Slaanesh player because it doesn't exist here in the roster. Makes it quite difficult. Now, we are going to have some of the Fury summoned there in the sky from Slaanesh, trying to see if they can combat up against the Furies of Khorne. But of course, they pay a lot for armor piercing, and the Frenzy here coming from the Furies of Khorne is giving them more melee attack, and they still have magic damage, so they're going to circumvent all that physical resistance. In the back, these Seekers going to be charging here. They do actually have the Sweet Swallow, giving them that speed bonus up to 125 speed, which is just absurd. But they also do have that negative penalty there on Vigor, giving them that plus 3% per second. In the middle, Seeker's still going to be fighting here up against the spawn of Khorne. Bloodletter's doing some really nice work here up against the infantry. Marauders, the spear variety, do return back to the battlefield here, but for how long is still to be said here. 2,100 HP. It looks like we might be getting an ability in this circle. What is that going to be? That might be... Oh, that was devastating! The Sword of Khorne just slams right down on the Marauder spears and deals with them very, very cleanly. In the back here, we have the Seekers getting compromised by Furies. Furies to do some lovely work. Magic damage, as we said, circumventing physical resistance of the Seekers. They really don't have much armor. So, of course, normally about 44 weapons range, I think. But 41 here, sorry. Still going to be pretty good to take down the cavalry. In the middle pocket, we're just going to be seeing Seas of Red. In the backside here, the Herald of Slaanesh. The Slaanesh caster is, of course, going to be on a Seeker. So we do have good armor piercing. I believe we have Acquiescence there in the back pocket. So we could slow down and, you know, sort of negate some of the melee defense. But we do have Uhtred in behind. And that is going to be a pull-out. But that's a very, very strong force there coming from Khorne. And it's a pretty hard matchup there for Slaanesh. I think Slaanesh are certainly one of the weaker factions here in the Landbattle scene, which is, you know, a bit of a shame. I think there's a couple of ways you could have played this. I think, you know, maybe dropping like the Locals of Grace and a couple of extra abilities could allow you to bring in an extra cavalry of the Hell Striders. Or otherwise you could maybe go with, you know, some of the Hellflyers and just bring in some of the chariots with good anti-infantry armor piercing. But still, we have mass here with the Spawn of Khorne, which is, you know, quite smart coming from Matthew. I think, of course, bringing these with the Bloodletters, you know, if you brought mass armor piercing, well, there's nothing really here to pierce, which is, you know, quite an interesting approach for sure. So very well played from Matthew. He actually ended up winning the Landbattle series with Season 5 for the Shortbeard League. If any of you do want to know what that is, do feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll try and respond as quickly as I can. But 580 damage value there for the Herald of Khorne. 650 plus the summon there for the Cultist. Of course, always performing very strong indeed. We saw 920, 1018 and 680 for the Spawn. Overall, considering they're very much glass cannon, some good DPS. 306, 550, 720, 300 and 400 there for the Bloodletters. Only two of them left on the battlefield. These two still had a little bit more value to give, but overall actually slightly underperforming, which I do find quite often for the Bloodletters. Very good DPS, but they get damage so goddamn easily against anything. But in the back we are going to have the Flesh Hounds. 550, 625, always comfortably doing very, very well. 350, 270 and 300 there for the Chaos Furies of Khorne. So for the Herald of Slaanesh, we're going to be coming in at 464. 660 there for the Exalted Demonettes and 1,150. I think 1.2k cost. Of course, you know, they have a very steep hill to pay for themselves for sure. But 825, 712, 880 and 960 for the Seekers. Of course, these costing 1,000, but still very good performance. You can see rather consistent. I think if they got on a little bit more cycle charging, maybe a little bit more micro there, might have got maybe just a titch more value out of them. But of course, you know, at the end of a tournament, you're going to be rather exhausted. And these two went to game 3. And it was an absolutely excellent battle for sure. But 330, 200 and 550 from the Hellstriders. A very strong unit indeed, with 340, 27, 54 and 150 from the Marauder Spears. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you did, please smash that like button. I'd really appreciate that. Feel free to leave a comment down below, but please, of course, do be thoughtful with all of your comments and you know, try and keep it positive if we can. Do feel free to subscribe. It really does help the growth of the channel. Check out my description down below. You can find my Twitch as well as my Discord. You can join there and do all the votey things that we can do in the future for all of my content. Now I will be leaving a link just afterwards so you can check out the live stream that had all these games on, so you can hopefully go there on YouTube and enjoy some of those. So I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you all very, very soon.